I noticed that you said you're talking about your father, and I'm sure he's an amazing man. But every time you said he doesn't drink, he doesn't cheat, you said he's such a wonderful person. I would argue that if I'm honest enough to tell the truth, and I support the other half, and I kill myself trying to make her life wonderful, then I also am an amazing person.
Yeah, I didn't say you weren't a good person.
No, I'm just saying, just because of contrast's sake. I'm not upset about it at all.
Okay.
Look, I get called a piece of shit all the time. So, no, it's fine.
By me.
But, yeah, yeehaw. But what I am saying is, like, being a good person and being monogamous are two different things.
Yep.
Your father and Rollo Tomasi and Donovan Sharp are a product of a zeitgeist that is about, let's say, 20, 30 years back. And that's where everybody came up and believed and lived and died by the sword of the Bible mostly, that monogamy was the only way. If your father, being a one percenter, or Rollo or Donovan were 35 now, here now in 2022 with Instagram and women blowing their phone up all day, I argue that the likelihood of them being monogamous for 25, 30 years is substantially less, not because they're weaker, not because of anything other than each generation faces a new set of problems. And those gentlemen, including your father, in respect, don't or never did had to face the problems that, let's say, the gentlemen of today have to face when it comes to temptation against the natural nature of biology as a human being.
I mean, I also think it's, again, as I've said, the situations you choose to put yourself in. So, again...
Including the year you're born and the culture?
No, but I, like...
Because you're not relevant if you're not on social media right now.
You're not relevant.
Yeah, like, so like in business, if you're trying to like build yourself up in business, LinkedIn, Facebook, like a lot of our business card is on our Instagram. How people perceive us, treat us, and allow us to have opportunity in the market.
Yeah, but you have to understand, like, this is a very different industry than what my dad does. He's fine without social media.
I get metal building deals because of Instagram.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like,
Right.
like your dad, yeah, he sounds like a superhero because even he is 1% from his time, right? But I think it's important that somebody watching this understands the distinction, respectfully, the distinction between what your father chose to do with his life and being a good person.
Well, when I hear that someone chooses to be loyal, like to enter into a monogamous relationship with the woman that gave him 7 biological kids, 3 adopted, and chooses to be monogamous, I just have a different level of respect for it. Than someone that chooses to like exercise their options.
Do you understand that most monogamous men are not loyal? Let me tell you why.
Go
ahead.
The evidence doesn't really support that if you take surveys, but I think usually the red pill is like they're just lying.
But let's talk about loyalty though.
Okay.
Because most men that get married use marriage and monogamy as a mating strategy to get that woman. Okay, so he's trading sexual exclusivity and marriage for sex, but he makes vows that he's going to do his best to create the most wonderful life he can for that woman. They exchange vows. And in my opinion, a man's loyalty is keeping that second part when most men don't. They come home, they pop open a beer, they smoke a bowl of weed. They watch a ball game. They turn on an Xbox.
Okay, go ahead.
As they do that, they do not produce and provide for their woman. And I would argue that is the most unloyal man that you can possibly come in contact with, because he stood in front of people and made vows to take care of her, provide for her, and create an amazing life for her. And he came home and popped open a Bud Light. That's not loyalty.
No, I agree with you. I do. Like, I always say I think cheating is different for men and for women. I always say I would leave someone if they cheated unless we had kids, because if you have kids, it's not about you anymore. But I just think it's cool. Like, I just respect my dad a lot for having the option to do what he does and still choosing to remain loyal to my mom. And I know the red pill will say forever, oh, he's cheating. But I don't know. My dad is just, I respect him a lot, and I think it's really cool that he does that.
I think there's a good chance that there's a relationship that your mother and your father have between them that you'll never know about. I'm not saying he's cheating, but if he did cheat, he's a damn good man from hiding it from all of you so he can continue to paint that picture of reality. Now, me, I'm not going to do that because I would rather live in truth. But if, you know how they say if a tree falls in the woods and nobody hears it, did it happen? Maybe that zeitgeist, that group of men in that age range, that was their strategy. Now that we're in 2022, the strategy, I think that it makes you the best man, shows the most character, is to just tell the truth. Tell the truth and don't embarrass your woman.
I agree with you,
very important
but
as well.
I just don't like the argument that like
Because it doesn't feel good to you.
No, it's not that it doesn't feel good. It's that you'll believe what you believe regardless of any evidence to the contrary. So if the evidence says that 1 out of 4 men cheat, you'll say, oh, they all cheat.
I would argue.
And it's like, if I say, no, my dad doesn't cheat, he doesn't do that, you say, well, he probably has an arrandment with your mom behind the scenes. Because that's your
I'm not
worldview.
saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's a chance.
You just implied that, which is fine. Like, I understand that's your worldview. But I just grew up around, like, I would say like the men of value versus high value men, which is just like the type of men that kind of get their money, get their woman, go buy a piece of land and don't want to talk to anybody. And it's just a very different like world than the like one that you guys live in. And that's partially what brought me into the red pill, because I was like, this is what you think high value men are like.
Right. And that's kind of what I'm arguing.
Yeah.
Because you're putting certain life choices with value as a person. And I'm simply saying what created value in his time and certainly in your life, because obviously you've turned out very, very well. Him being valuable in that time and him having that good impact on you is incredible. I'm just simply arguing that a man that in 2022 that tells the truth, takes care of his business, takes care of his family, shows up for his wife in the most important ways, providing, truly loving her, making sure that her life is a fucking carpet ride, and then loving the fuck out of the kids and supporting and doing the right thing that a man should do, because a man does have the burden of performance. And I put that burden of performance right there in the loyalty spot, in the turning up for your family. That is a good man. Not whether you had sex with another woman or whatever. It's the lying, it's the deceit that hurts so badly. And the reason that women are unhappy is because the formula for happiness is the gap between expectation and reality.
Yeah.
Your father gave that to your mother. That's what made him a good man. For me, I would rather not lie, because the world has changed since your father was a father and from when I will be a father. So I'm going to be brave enough, bold enough to love and be impactful enough to tell the truth. And you can leave if you want. But if you leave me for a man you love less when I told you the truth, you have to respect that I tell you the truth. And then I back up what I said. And that loyalty is producing, performing, providing, and being who you say you are.